Welcome to Echoes of Urban History, where we delve into the captivating story of one of the world's most beloved cities, Paris. Renowned as the City of Light, Paris is celebrated for its culture, architecture, and art. But beneath the surface of its bustling boulevards and romantic landmarks lies a rich tapestry of history that spans over 2,000 years. In this episode, we'll embark on a journey through time, uncovering the ancient roots of Paris and its evolution into a global capital. Chapter 1. The Birth of Paris, from the Parisii tribe to Roman Lutetia, 3rd century BC 5th century AD. Our journey begins with the Parisii, a Celtic tribe that established a small, fortified settlement along the banks of the Seine around 250 BC. Paris, as we know it, was then a modest village. However, everything changed in 52 BC when the Romans, under Julius Caesar, conquered the region and transformed it into a significant Roman city called Lutetia. The Romans laid the foundations for modern Paris, constructing roads, baths, and even an arena. Today, hidden beneath the city's streets, you can still find remnants of this era, such as the ancient Roman amphitheatre, Arenes de Lutetia. Chapter 2. The Rise of Medieval Paris, 5th–15th century. With the fall of the Roman Empire, Paris emerged as the heart of the Frankish kingdom. By the Middle Ages, it had evolved into a thriving center of religion, trade, and power. The construction of Notre-Dame Cathedral, which began in 1163, is a testament to the city's growing significance. Taking nearly 200 years to complete, its towering Gothic architecture continues to dominate the skyline. Meanwhile, the left bank became a hub for scholars and intellectuals, with the University of Paris, founded in the 12th century, establishing itself as one of Europe's most prestigious centers of learning. Chapter 3. The Haussmann Revolution, Paris transformed, 19th century. Jumping forward to the 19th century, we witness one of the most transformative periods in Parisian history, Baron Haussmann's redesign of the city under the orders of Napoleon III. Between 1853 and 1870, Haussmann led a radical overhaul of Paris, replacing narrow medieval streets with wide boulevards, parks, and grand buildings. His vision was not only to beautify the city but also to modernize and improve its sanitation. The broad avenues and Haussmannian buildings we admire today are a lasting legacy of this dramatic transformation. Chapter 4. Paris in the 20th century and beyond, a city of contrasts. As we move into the 20th century, Paris continued to evolve, navigating the challenges of two world wars while solidifying its status as a global center of art, fashion, and diplomacy. The Eiffel Tower, originally constructed for the 1889 World's Fair and initially dismissed as an eyesore, has become an enduring symbol of the city. The Pompidou Center, with its radical modern design, and La Défense, the financial district with its towering skyscrapers, showcase Paris's ability to balance its rich historical heritage with cutting-edge modernity. Conclusion. Paris is a city of endless evolution, constantly reinventing itself while preserving its extraordinary history. From the ancient Parisii settlement to the dynamic metropolis of today, every corner of Paris resonates with echoes of the past. As you explore its streets, you are walking in the footsteps of emperors, kings, revolutionaries, and visionaries. Thank you for joining us on this journey through time. If you enjoyed this exploration, don't forget to subscribe to Echoes of Urban History, where we continue to bring the fascinating stories of cities to life. Until next time, keep exploring.